Good morning, happy Friday, welcome to the show. It is time for the pit stop. It is Friday. Great way to kick off the weekend, talking some sim racing. I'm here with my good buddy, Amir
Hey!
Assad. How are you doing, Amir?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Very busy, but all
Yeah.
in good ways. So,
Good,
yeah,
man.
I have nothing I can complain about that would be worthy of complaining of.
It's good
Literally.
to be busy though, right? Like,
I'm the good kind of busy. I have a lot of good
yeah.
stuff going on. Yeah, I'm in a good mood. I'm
Good.
excited for the weekend. I'm going to go have fun
Mhm.
this weekend.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, all sorts of cool stuff.
What are you
Um,
doing this weekend?
I don't know. I have a buddy of mine who over the either today, tomorrow, or Sunday we're gonna have get together for lunch. Good buddy of mine. I know my
Hmm.
brother and I are gonna go on a motorcycle ride.
Okay.
I have some projects around the house that I'm working on. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I
Right.
used to have the wall art in my old
Yeah.
studio. I am bringing that back to life, and I got all the
Okay.
pieces, so I'm going to work on that this weekend. Do some driving, do some racing. I've got some products to test, so I'll probably do a little
Hmm.
work, even though I am trying to take my weekends back. Yeah, Turge! Yes! Thumbs up!
Yes.
Everyone, if you're here, give us a thumbs up. Welcome to the show. Good morning, Tim, Heiko, Ian, Mike. Callum, Christian, Turge, how you doing, everybody? Um, I am gonna try to keep today's show moving along a little bit, not take
A
too many,
little bit.
well, a little bit. I mean, I do want to I want to bring up one topic, and I brought this up before, and I don't want to dwell on it right now.
Right.
What I'm really encouraging people to do is hit exclamation mark Discord and get into our Discord and send me a message. Um, I love the pit stop and I love doing the pit stop. So this conversation is not like whether we should or shouldn't have the pit stop. I
Right.
think the real question that I'm having now is what do we do with the pit stop? And maybe the right answer is don't do anything, leave it the way it is. But when
Okay.
I look at like Overtake and I look at Traxion, and for the most part, most of what they're doing is written, news articles,
Right.
and they've got a fleet of reporters, let's just say, that are hounding the latest software developers on a daily basis, and a lot of times their stories are more thorough than from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Right.
So you'll find more information, and so it is hard to compete with that. The other is they are doing that 24/7, 365. The pit stop
Right.
is really just Friday only. So I just find it, when I'm going through the news, I'm just finding like, well, if I was really, really trying to be on top of the news, I honestly would be probably an Overtaker Traction, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just being honest. So if that is the case, well, what do we do with the pit stop? I love the pit stop. I love hanging out. I
Yeah.
love talking sim racing. Do we reduce the topics to just the main stories and talk more in depth about it? Do we keep blowing through everything as quick as we can? I'm not sure. Anyway, that was
Right.
just a thought and an ideas. I was going through the news, like for the race room, is what
Hmm.
brought this up. It was
Okay.
they had like 8 different articles in Overtake explaining each part of the race room update. So instead of
Hmm.
saying, hey, here's an update with all these things, they're like, well, here's this part of the update and we're
Right.
going to talk about it. Here's this part of the update and we're going to talk about it. And I was like, well, I can't cover 8 stories on my show that Overtake did. That doesn't make much sense. And then when I went
Hmm.
to Race Room to try to get it from the source's mouth, I only had one thing, which was to watch their entire video.
Right.
Which that's cool, but it's hard for me to show that on this show, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think, but there's a key difference that we have. I mean, there's pros and cons to everything, right, man? I mean, they're like more like a news source. Like it's okay. They're like the CNN or Fox News of sim racing. Uh,
Wow,
whereas
you
we're
what
more
an insult to Overtake you just threw their way.
Well, I meant it like like
I know. They're just
corporate media, right? They're just generic. They're generic corporate media, and that's not like that's not a slight against them or anything like that. I know a couple of guys from Overtake and Traction, like they're very great guys, but they're in the business of like, hey, here's the news. Here's what's come out of sim racing. Where I feel like more for us, like we have more discussion based things going on, and we tend to go off topic a lot.
Yes, we do.
So I kind of equate us. We're kind of like, I know this might make people happy or might make them upset. We're kind of like the View of sim racing.
Oh, what a slam to the View! No.
I mean, sometimes we have great opinions, sometimes we don't, and but we sit here and we chill with everybody. We have we'll answer people's comments, questions. We'll answer, we'll have chats with them, and I think it makes it we're more laid back and relaxed in how we talk about things, which I think is what a lot of people enjoy.
And let's see Overtake do this. Good morning, Sean Cobb. Good morning, Brian Ostrike. Good morning, Joa, Doug. Who else is here? Tiago's here as well. Good morning to you, Ted. Good morning to you as well. So I think okay. So maybe we do what we do. maybe we're doing exactly what we're supposed to do. And it's like, if you really want the latest news and every tidbit of information there is, the minute it happened, go to Overtake. Right? I mean, honestly, we're not even trying to be that or do that, right? Or go to Traxon, or BSim, or there are a lot of those places. But if you want to talk about the big ones, you want to have a little fun with the stories, maybe even throw a little shade where shade is deserved, or whatever. You're gonna do that here,
right? Like, where else can you go to see me walk away when you start talking about test drive? Where else? Nowhere else.
Yes. You don't need a mere muffs at Overtake. All right. Well, okay. We're done with the conversation. You don't need to go to Discord for that reason, but I still encourage you to type in !Discord. Yeah. Get into our Discord, because that's where you have access to our whole community. And I just love... There's so much a great variety in our Discord of conversation that goes on, and some of it might seem irrelevant and mundane at times, which is fine. But at the same time, I see someone coming in there like, I'm doing this and I'm between this and that, and all of a sudden 3-4 people chime in with some thoughts and opinions and maybe other options. Anyway, just awesome community. So
I mean, and again, like, people have ideas. Like, let us know. I mean, we're not against people change. Like, we want to make the show better and better. Our community, we will make our whole community better and better.
Yeah.
Like what we talked about, we had one guy make a comment. It's like, hey, can you guys put, the Pitstop on Spotify? So guess what? This episode will be the first one that will be on Spotify.
No way.
I'll upload it on Sunday, or like until I can get a hold of things. But yeah, it will go up live on Spotify on Sunday. That way people can go back and listen to it in their cars and stuff like that. Yeah.
Amir,
I didn't even tell you about that. I kind of dropped that true bomb on you.
You are you are the best thing that ever happened to this show. Amir, man, I appreciate it. We're always listening. I'll give you another example. I'll show you another example right now. Is during a live pit stop, people are like, Sean, you realize your ugly mugs are always covering certain parts of the screen, right? And I was like, yeah, well, I can probably do something about that. And bam, So, we are always listening. We are always adapting. Yep. And this is the most community. I mean, honestly, the pit stop in particular of the Simpit. The whole Simpit is very clay. We're clay. We're constantly changing the shape of our sculpture here. And the pit stop is the one that, I mean, literally live on the show, we will make changes. So it is organic. It is for sim racers, by sim racers, with our friendly sim racers.
Yeah.
All right. With that, sim racing news. So we had a kind of cool big week, little variety here. We hung out with George Anzaldo, the man behind Sim Gaming Expo. We did an interview, hour and a half talking with George about all sorts of things. I think we touched upon things that other places, getting back to our Overtaker Chaxian. I mean, it got a little personal even. You know, it wasn't just fluff, in other words. So if you want to hear the inner workings of Sim Gaming Expo, it's an entertaining time. David Payne!
Yeah.
David Payne! Here, I don't have my stream deck here. I got this, though. David Payne! Mankini, I'm giving you one of those for yesterday. We had a big stream yesterday in the rally, and everyone was hooking me up, I tell you. Anyway, so that was really fun, cool interview. It's been a while since since I've been a part of an interview. So
yeah, it's been a while.
It was kind of nice to do that again.
Yeah.
Then yesterday, I'm gonna cover this in two different parts of the show. Part one, really entertaining stream, I think. I haven't rewatched it. Rally Poland. I ran Rally Poland and I hit a game glitch where I was not allowed to do any repairs. I was allowed to change tires, but I had no extras. I ran a pair of super softs for all 6 stages. No repairs. Okay. And the last 2 stages were at night, or partial darkness, we'll call it, in the rain. And I had no extra lights put on the car because they do that during the first service. Mm-hmm. So I had what could have been a nightmare of nightmare rallies, and I actually had maybe one of my best driving days ever. Also did a little test of non-force feed, non-wiggles, as we like to call it, non-motion versus turning the motion back on. And it was like, first 2 stages I felt really in sync with my co-driver. My driving was kind of on. Excuse me. Excuse me. And I was afraid to turn on the motion. I'm like, wow, am I this like in the groove? Because, and not for real rally people, by the way, I'm still very slow. But for me, it was a good day. So yeah. Here, I'm going to show you sort of at the end when we had some darkness. Like I said, partial. Oh yeah, they made me wear the wig. Like I said, this is a community show. Anyway, with that, we'll see how I did in the end, because a lot of guys hadn't finished the rally when I finished. So that was that. All right. In addition, Next Level Racing PRS1 seat review. You know, when I was doing this review, what is this at the beginning?
Oh.
Oh my god. What a fuck up.
What?
What a fuck up that was. Oh my god, Sean. Amateur hour. Can I cut that on YouTube?
Maybe?
Oh, hey, Tom Jones, David Payne, good morning.
Because I watched that, I thought, like, is that a skit that he was doing, maybe, or something? I don't.
Oh, it was a cold intro that I decided I didn't like, and I was like, forget it, cut it, and I apparently didn't. Oh, considering I'd really like to know how many videos I've made. And it would be impossible to calculate, because like going back to Inside Sim Racing, like, well, what percentage of those are mine? Was I on the edit? Was I, anyway, my mistake ratio is very low. So every once in a while I have to muscle my way through something like that and see it and be like, oh no. But they are very rare considering the amount of videos I've made. You can see the wall art there. It's sideways.
Oh, yeah.
Totally makes no sense, but it didn't look terrible. I'm like, well, fine, it can stay. It's going on the wall behind me right there.
Like on the black side or on the white?
On the white.
Okay.
And then it's going to have LEDs. And I'm actually thinking of putting it fairly low, like my shoulder height. And then I'm thinking of putting a floating shelf above it that I could put some steering wheels. That's mainly for me for storage more than looks of the show. Anyway, what I was getting at, or I was starting to say before I saw the error in my ways, you know what the hardest thing to review in all of sim racing is? That was a
What's
question.
that?
A seat.
Ah!
I mean, it doesn't do anything. You know, like a dash. Like, let's say you're doing a dash, a wind sim. Anything you can think of, for the most part, does something. Even a haptic seat cushion, if you get close enough, you can see the hint of a vibration. A seat does not do anything. So how do you present it?
I mean, it does, and especially a reclining seat. Like, because dude, I'm saying I struggled too when I did the 2 seat reviews. I'm like, how can I showcase this? Yeah, you're right. It's a very static object, but then like, how can you showcase the pros and cons of the seat other than like, flex? Flex is going to be noticeable, especially on a reclining seat. But what else? Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I kind of struggled with it a little bit too.
It's all about it's all about feel.
Yeah,
You know, that's it.
yeah. You can't convey feel. It's hard to convey feel through video. Yeah.
Yeah, Turge, a seat is so... It's almost like a bed. Like, there's no way you can make an argument for, like, whether it's right to have a firm or a soft mattress. Because it's a matter of what well, in my case, what my back can tolerate. And seats are very similar. The other is, depending on where the aches and pains of your body are, a seat could be really good or bad. You know, if there's a wrong angle in the wrong spot and it happens to be where your back binds, So yeah, it is hard. And again, that's when I review things. I try to get in the mindset of what are other people. Like, I was really focused on like the fit and the size and trying to describe it so that you could then compare your build to mine. Like, now our height differences are so broad that it would be hard to know there, but like we'll know soon enough, but I have a hunch that my shoulders aren't that much narrower than yours. It's just that the distance from my shoulder to my waist is a fraction of yours.
Right.
In other words, I'm a giant little people. No, that's it. All right. Anyway, it was a cool review, and pretty excited about that. It was a nice seat. I like, I've done a lot of seat. I don't like vinyl because it's hot in the summer.
Yes, yeah.
I feel differently about a real car, by the way, where you have air conditioning and maybe you're not going to be sweating on a regular. Then I'm like, well, vinyl is really durable and it's easy to clean, and so it had that aero mesh fabric, which is breathable, but there's a limitation to breathable, in the summer. I mean, my rig gets hot. Anyway, I thought they did a nice job. A little pricey. Ooh. But more importantly, sorry, I missed the 2 biggest things. Oh my God, being able to do lumbar change.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is like become a number 1 requirement for me now, like especially when it comes to chairs. Like, office chairs and stuff, let's be able to adjust the lumbar. Yeah.
And even if I put myself in a point of pain for a moment, to just then relieve it, often is like, just so it's like, I might crank it and be like, oh, that's, and drive like that for a little, and then just put the relief back to where it was, and I'm super happy. And then the other is, oh man, when you have those clicky, I'm sure I'll be in another day, but I really love the infinite adjustable angle.
Yeah.
Because, just those click positions. Here's the irony of a multi-click, when you click the handle to go to each chair position.
Right.
It's like a clock ticks and it's every hour almost, right?
Yep.
Well, I don't need most of them on the relaxed end because it actually relaxes beyond what my back can even lay down on. And
Right.
certainly don't need the ones where I'd put my face in the steering wheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless I'm trying to get in the back seat of my car. So I
Right.
have more positions and range than I need, but I don't have
Mm-hmm.
nearly as enough precision within the range that I'd actually use. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it makes sense because it's something I dealt with the other next level seats. Like the angle of adjustment is a little larger than it should be. Like going from from a straight center and trying to angle it backwards. Like there's like a big degree difference between the locking positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought was the absolute best thing about that seat.
Mhm.
So I think that's everything from us, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a couple things I'm working on, but
I got a couple things
I
I'm
don't
working on.
yeah, I don't have anything because last weekend I was at SimLab, so I'm working on that review. And then I'll show you guys later what other stuff I was working on too. I can actually show finished results.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right, looking at iRacing. As you guys know, week 13 just came to a completion. I thought it was one of the uncool. It was. They didn't have very many cool combinations this week 13, by the way. I always hate week 13, by the way.
Yeah.
Every time week 13 comes on, I fire up my computer Monday, I'm like, oh. Anyway, and then this one was like the worst ever. Anyway, not a big deal. It's just 1 week. And it is in the name of glory because it's in the name of the new build, right? So, by the way, did you notice our logo is no longer in iRacing? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I was here for the last show. Was I here for the last show?
No, you were at SimLab, weren't you?
Oh no, but I went back and rewatched the show, and the people in Discord were talking about it too, which is yeah.
I'm just gonna leave it alone. I'm over it. I just want to mention it. All right. Anyway, season 2 is complete. Okay, this is so one season, which equals 3 months, right? A quarter of the year. And this is what Assetto Corsa, Le Mans Ultimate, RaceRoom, and any other would-be top dog sim has to compete with.
Mm-hmm.
There were 43,409 unranked races run. There were 443,000 ranked races run. There were 125,000 hosted events. And there were a total of 612,000 events that went on in a 3-month span of time.
Nice.
238,000 unique drivers, 8,600,000 total drivers.
I like what like there is 8.6 million total drivers. Like,
wow, is very nice.
Like,
I think that's counting every time you log in, or every day.
right, but so, like, but it does to me that number means nothing.
Well, I think if you took 8.6 million and divided it by 238,000 unique drivers, it just shows you how many times everybody logged in on average. Right?
I guess.
Isn't that what that number is?
I don't know. Like, are they including the AI drivers? Are they, like, to me, it's like, all right, just to say, like, hey, we have 238,000 drivers. Like, to me, it's like a mind-boggling number already to show, like, holy crap, there are that many sim racers in iRacing. But then you look at 8.6 million, I'm like, there is no way there's 8.6 million sim racers in the world. No freaking way.
No, I think that's logins.
Yeah, it could be.
That's just encounters
or multiple account. People with multiple accounts or whatever. I don't know. Okay. Anyways. Goodbye.
Tom Jones, by the way, thank you. I threw up the thank you graphic, but Tom Jones, thank you very much. You want a half-eaten Simpit cookie. Wow, that sounds kind of creepy. Can I break it in half, or do I have to like literally you need the bite marks? Because then I'd be like, that'd be my DNA, dude. I'm a little afraid. I never did.
Next is gonna ask you for bath water.
I never did 23andMe. As Dr. Nick would say, hi everybody. Hi Michael. Hi Michael.
Hey buddy.
Ted Floyd. Yeah, I think I said good morning, but good morning. Joshua Hege, good morning to you. Joa, I was told that the iRacing removed the Simpit logo because they seen there was a new logo and was waiting for the new one to be received. I need to be their PR guy. That could be the case.
Maybe we need to send in the new logo.
238,000 some play a lot. Yes, that is true. Shifter cart. Total events. It's about as redundant as total events number. Yes, it is a little redundant.
Yeah.
That it is what it is. It's a secondary way of looking at the same thing in a lesser.
Yeah.
Who cares? They could have removed those stats, and it would almost make everything else more impressive.
Yeah.
Like, cause it's too many numbers, right? So you could have dropped 2 of those and made it a cooler, more impressionable.
Yeah.
But that's my point here being, though, the other top dog sims, this is what you're up against. You know?
True. In the end, true, yeah.
I think these are starting to approach, like, Forza level numbers. You know? And so for a PC game, I don't know. I made that up, by the way. Don't quote me on that stat. But I think when a PC game starts to rival a console game of magnitude, that's saying something. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think they're quite at Gran Turismo levels. But all right. Let's see here. Any other thoughts on the iRacing?
No, I mean, kudos to them. I mean, for having that many people, and I mean, because they had some big events too. They had Nürburgring. They had the Indy 500 during this time too. So, yeah.
Playing the video of the update. They did an update,
Yeah.
like they did their own like sort of recap of the season 3 update, 2025 season 3 update.
Well, they also talked about some things coming in the future too.
Yeah, in this video, yeah, they do talk about some other stuff like IndyCar update.
The IndyCar already happened. Like,
That was in
some
this
of the new
one.
tracks. Some of the new tracks that they're working on. It's like they're reworking Sonoma. That was like the big road track that they're working on right now. Doing a complete remodel of Sonoma race. What do you call it? Sonoma Raceway or
Sears Point, Sonoma.
No.
Yeah.
So we're completely redoing that track, and then also talking about some of the graphical and sound updates that they're working on too. Yeah.
Tom Jones, there was a brief moment in time where I thought about doing one of those Amazon review shows. Like, I was going to do it on the side. I was just going to be like, cool. I know somebody who does that. They get products from Amazon for free, and then they do review videos, but then they have affiliate links. And they actually make a pretty good side living doing it. And I was like, well, what does it take to make that your full living? Never got around to doing it, but that's what I would do with my clone. I agree, Tom. Toothbrushes. All right. This was a teaser from Traxion that was reposted at the Assetto Corsa site.
Oh.
It's been 10 months since the last notable ACC Competizione, not Evo, update.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean it's dead. So, Assetto Corsa Competizione, you're reportedly not dead. The quote from them, we're not done yet.
Okay.
So
I wonder.
That's all we have on that, by the way.
Yeah.
You refuse to... No. Yeah, no. I'll give you my review. It's better to use than to wait for a review. That's my pre-review review. Your question is, why am I not doing... because I don't have a lot of free time. It would impact this show. It's just that one would probably pay better in time. It would take time. You still have to build an audience. It would take time. Just because you make a video doesn't mean people watch it.
Yep.
Okay, so overtake Assetto Corsa Evo to welcome. This is now okay. So that topic, the previous one was Traxon with the news of ACC not dead yet. This is an update on the upcoming update. How many times can I say update? Assetto Corsa Evo to welcome. Are you ready? The BMW M4 GT3 Evo and Spa-Francorchamps within the 0.3 update.
I'm still waiting on my Nürburgring free roam mode.
Free roam mode.
Right.
I thought. Oh, you're not gonna like it, but that's what Test Drive.
Pushed back.
No, Test Drive just announced they're doing it first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, you're gonna have another GT3 car for Evo in the next update, including Spa-Francorchamps. Yeah, and a few other little tidbits.
So I'll be at Spa, so maybe I can try it out while I'm there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm kind of jealous of that.
I know. Like, got my Spa Nürburgring tickets.
Oh wow. Lucky.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Le Mans Ultimate. Why did I have this here? Why do I have Le Mans Ultimate on my screen?
Because they were...
Oh, there's an update to the update.
Yeah.
And they were at Le Mans.
And they were at Le Mans last week.
Yeah, but we kind of covered that. Yeah, they did do that big update, though. Update 5. And there was a patch released a couple days ago. Actually, yesterday.
Yep. A patch to the patch.
A patch to the patch. Or an update to the update. Alright, maybe I need to do a one-time cookie. Yeah, I don't know the legality of selling cookies, by the way. Do a one-time cookie thing. I was actually thinking about if I could pull this off, but I don't know if I can. I have to bring a lot of shit with me already. Of bringing a bunch of cookies to the expo.
Ooh.
And then if you hit me up and ask me for a cookie, I'd give you a Simpit cookie. But,
let's do it.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like a lot of work for me, and I don't know about the return on investment there. I'll tell you what. I'll bring a backpack of cookies, and if you come up and hand me $10, I'll give you a cookie.
So I just walk up to random people. Do you want a Simpit cookie? You want a Simpit cookie? You want a Simpit cookie? Here's a Simpit cookie.
That'll be my whole thing. It'll be the weirdest coverage of a Sim Expo ever. My whole bit will be going up to people and be like, "Oh, look, we're here with Matt Malone. Try our Simpit cookie. What did you think? Thanks a lot, Matt. Have a great day."
Walk with just like a giant tray full of cookies. Here, have a cookie.
Oh, you got a little on your mustache there, buddy. No, I have much more better things to talk about with Matt about the cookies. Let's see. Okay, so this looks kind of cool. This is like the FU Wreckfest update to BeamNG. So version 0.36 is here. Here's what's new. 2 remastered vehicles, a school bus and an armored truck.
Oh.
Yeah. UI and gameplay updates, West Coast level improvements, and much more. So yeah, summertime shakeup and BeamNG. Here, I'm going to play the video. Hit mute.
Mute.
Yeah, they're doing music. The school bus. I saw and the armored truck. I saw a school bus like that for sale for $3,500. I was like, oh man, I want to turn that into a motorhome. But
I'll say turn it into the Simpit bus.
Oh man, the Simpit is mobile. The Simpit is homeless, but we've got a mobile studio. I love it. We got a Starlink on the roof, solar panels, and you'll find us at every Starbucks parking lot stealing their Wi-Fi.
Right.
in a 200-foot extension cords that we can steal. Yeah, doesn't this look like Wreckfest?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then they hit.
Oh.
Jetpacks. My backpack's got jets.
Ooh.
I'm Boba the Fett.
See, they turned that bus into an off-roader. There you go.
Yeah. All right. So some cool stuff in BeamNG. I love it. I need to fire that up. It's been a while. My hard drives are full, so I started deleting stuff, and I don't think I have BeamNG loaded up.
I was just playing it. I was playing it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man.
My main sim has my racing sim has everything on iRacing installed.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything, because that machine.
Oh.
And it is. I should go look at the file. It is a ridiculous amount now. I mean, for years I was like, no biggie, just add all. And now I'm like, I think I'm going to do an uninstall.
Yeah.
And just install what I use as I use it.
That's what I do. Yeah, in iRacing. Because, I mean, like, I don't even touch, like, 70% of the cars in iRacing. Yeah. So, like, why bother even installing them? Yeah.
I have them all currently updated.
Yep.
Not just it's all current, ready to. I mean, I can fire up anything in 2 seconds, but who needs that? The installer is pretty quick when it's just one car on one track, right?
Exactly.
I mean, so anyway, all right. Moving right along. RaceRoom Grid Talk. They are live with their Grid Talk, and we can watch the video, 36 minutes long, and in 36 minutes they cover what's going on. And this gets back to what I was saying at the beginning of the video. Or you could go to Overtake and they have 8 different articles telling you all about each segment on its own. Or basically they have an update here. RaceRoom gears up for major multiplayer and graphical overhaul with 2025 Q2 update.
Nice.
Yeah, so all sorts of big stuff. We talked about, like, we saw the Alfa, right? The Alfa Romeo, the, like, touring car. The Super Tours.
Yeah.
We've seen the GT3 Lamborghini. They had a couple of tracks, didn't they? Hockenheim Ring. And anyway, and the other thing I want to point out, I don't know, it kind of was, I guess I sort of forgot, but I forgot that KW is like what is behind RaceRoom at this point.
Well, yeah, it's the KW, the KW group, KW Studios, yeah.
Yeah, so
they own RaceRoom, Asher, BBS Wheels, yeah.
Well, and KW suspension and a bunch of real life automotive stuff. Yep. They also just reacquired the WRC license, EA, formerly EA. So
was that them, or I thought that was KT Studios?
Oh, it's Clayton.
It was KT.
Yeah, it's Clayton, not KW. Thank you. Oh, a little brain fart by Sean. Sorry. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't run with that very far.
I mean, it's still though. They're doing. Now I love it, man. With RaceRoom, they're doing the British touring cars, and they're doing the old school DTM. Like, I gotta go back and try the old school DTM cars.
Yeah,
I haven't really had a chance to try them out because those were amazing cars back in the day.
Yeah. So, all right. We don't cover F125 very often or much. They have a season roadmap going on, so they're going to have season 1 from May 27th through July 22nd. I think this is racing seasons, by the way, not like the roadmap word has been so used for like the direction of the company. I think this is like just their racing, what's going on if you want to race F125. So there you go. All right. Is this Fox News? Fake news. Fake news.
I was gonna say, like, I wanted to say it, but I didn't say it.
Well, I'm a little bitter-tongued lately, so it's hard for me to hold back. Believe me, I'm still filtered, people. You have no idea. All right, what are we looking at here? This is some Gran Turismo. Turismo. I used to call it Turismo. Gran Turismo.
Turismo.
I'm pretty sure that's is that a 80? Is that a Toyota thing?
It looks like a Toyota 86.
In the back, right?
It does look like one. Yeah.
Or is it some funky
I can't be sure though.
Opel copy? It's
Could be.
It's an OG hot hatch. Then this thing in front. Yeah. Speaking of hot hatch, looks like some kind of like Cosworth powered Cosworth powered Euro box.
Right.
Isn't that what they all are?
Something like that, yeah.
And then in the back left,
like a mini SUV.
Yeah, like a crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. That's all I have to say about that.
Oh,
Dodge Caliber. Is it that? It's not as edgy as the Caliber. Isn't an Caliber's like back quarter like very sharp line?
Oh, yeah. Like, so Tim is saying the one on the right's the Peugeot. Yeah, I can see the front hood look like an old school Peugeot. Yeah.
Peugeot.
Yeah, Peugeot. Peugeot.
Nah, I just don't ever listen to me when it comes to pronunciation. Lancia on the left. The car in front looks like a Lancia Delta. That's what I thought, but these all look like, honestly, when I saw this, I'm like, that looks like a Toyota, but it looks like somebody was like, oh, that Toyota is cool. Let's build one like ours. Yeah. We'll do one too. And then the front car, I was like, that looks like a Lancia Delta, but it doesn't. It looks like someone's like, Lancia Deltas are cool. We should make one too. And then the back thing looks like, I don't know. I mean, these three cars here kind of point out why, as awesome as Gran Turismo is, I have no interest in that game whatsoever.
Why is that?
The whole, like, every street showroom car to ever exist, including, like, model changes between the 07 versus the 010 year. I don't care. Like, it's more than I need. We were talking the iRacing stats.
Right. But I look at it like Gran Turismo's always been like half car collector title and half racing title.
Yes, I agree.
Right? It's always been like that though, because I remember like Gran Turismo 2, like what is it? They had like 30 different Toyota Celicas you can buy, 40 different Skylines versions you could buy.
Gran Turismo, to its credit, is almost like a automotive encyclopedia.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Especially when you tape in like landscape mode, and being able to go photograph them, and so yeah. I mean, and honestly, if I had like a sim center or something, like if you could just have Gran Turismo just like do a screensaver mode where it just cycles through landscape of every car in the game, I'd let that play all day, I mean, it would be pretty cool. All right. But more cars isn't enough to get me excited. That's more fair. Yeah. Like adding these three particular cars is just not going to make or break. All right. No Aztec, no buy. Is there Pontiac Aztec in Gran Turismo?
I don't think so.
It is.
Yeah.
Is it in Forza? It might be.
I don't remember.
All right.
I mean, I think Dom just wants to act out his Breaking Bad, dreams in video games. I think it's what.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT.
I know you can do a Pontiac Aztec mod in Grand Theft Auto.
Feature the Pontiac Aztec. What video games features the Pontiac Aztec? The Pontiac Aztec, infamous for its unique design and made popular again by Breaking Bad, Has appeared in a handful of video games over the years. Here's a list of notable titles where you can find the Aztec. Gran Turismo 4.
Ah, okay.
Test Drive Eve of Destruction.
Uh-huh.
Midnight Club 3.
Okay.
Forza Motorsport 4. Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
BeamNG. And then honorable mentions, it says driver Parallel Lines. Never heard of it. Had a vehicle very similar. And Watch Dogs series features vehicles that appear to be inspired by the mid-G.
Yeah.
So, all right, there you have it. The Aztec. All right, Forza Motorsport Update 21 introduces the latest generation of Indy cars alongside the new Champions Cup Career. We're also bringing back featured tours and reward cars permanently, starting with the Road to Race Tour on July 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah. You didn't sound very excited.
I mean, I never even tried Forza Motorsport, with all the not so nice things when it, first came out. I still haven't heard really a lot of good things about it. So I'm like, okay.
Hey,
at least it worked, not like Test Drive. So there we go.
I tried it. I didn't like it. And I put a call out, and I've mentioned it many times to all my Forza guys out there to, hey, when they do an update that makes the force feedback feel even remotely real, you let me know. And I've yet to be hit up with anyone saying that it has. Now, that doesn't mean everyone missed their cue and didn't tell me. But I'm just saying, no one said, hey, it's time to go back.
Yeah.
All right. F125 game support is now live for SimPro Manager. So if you have a Simagic steering wheel, you now have support in F125, the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Was there something else from Simagic? They updated their kill switch. Oh, they have a little thing showing you the difference between the new and the old haptic pads. Basically, the new compact, more powerful ones. They're sleeker design as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now, honestly, if you have the old ones and you're like, I wish they were stronger, then you should go get the new ones. But if that's not what you're sitting there thinking, you don't need the new ones. I'm just saying.
No.
Yeah. But if you don't have them yet, the new ones are nicer, in my opinion. They're cooler looking.
Yeah. I mean, still, the old design still looks pretty nice, too.
Yeah. One thing I didn't mention here, I did mention... Oh, sorry, go on. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm cutting you off a lot today, aren't I?
No, you're good, buddy. Do your thing.
All right. Next level race.
I'll yell at you.
Okay, good. You'll defend yourself. Does the kill switch shut off F125?
No, the game will do that for you. It'll just crash on you.
Oh, my God. Tim, if they were to... If the Aztec had never been released and they were to re-release that car today, it might have a fighting... Well, not under the Pontiac marquee. But yeah, a refined Aztec would actually do fairly decent today, I think.
Yeah.
It couldn't look quite that butt ugly. I'll tell you one car that really grew on me, similar to the Aztec in my opinion, because when it came out, I was like, oh, it's just an Aztec truck. The Chevy Avalanche really grew on me. When the Avalanche came out, I laughed at it. I was like, look at the giant Aztec truck. That's literally what I would be. You could quote me as saying it back then. And now I see the only ones I see now are like really nicely kept. And they're cool.
I like the old Aztec. Not the Aztec, but the Avalanche. And because what is it? Honda came out with the Ridgeline to kind of compete with it too. Yeah.
Which, here's the funny thing. No truck guy would ever drive a Ridgeline. But I have heard they are like an excellent truck, by the way. That's what I've heard about them.
Yeah.
So one thing with the Next Level Racing seat, I covered it, but I think their website even had it wrong. There are two new seats. The PRS 1, which is gray and black, and the PRS 2, which is red and black. and they're not interchange. The PRS 1 is narrower. It's like up to a 38-inch waist. The PRS 2 is wider, up to a 40-inch waist. Now I'm like a 33-inch waist, and at the waist I had all sorts of room. Around the thighs, which again, getting back to my dimensions, thigh to thigh, outside thigh to thigh, I'm probably as wide as anybody in this room right now. You know, but yes, I'm super short, acknowledged. But I rode bicycles for 20 years, like raced bicycles for 20 years, and have very large thighs. So, the thigh to thigh on that seat was like right at its tightest point. It touched me, but then I had a little bit of freedom, so I could actually move my legs around. Anyway,
Okay.
the other thing I did want to point out, I did mention in the review, and this is just, it's so brutal. International pricing is $349 on the chair. Our pricing is $399 here in the States.
Why is that? Usually this is cheaper in the States.
It is the tariff.
Yeah.
It's the tariff.
I thought the tariffs were on pause.
No, there's like a 10% total always tariff.
So 10% of $349.
It's $35.
Yeah, so that'd be like $370.
Well, we tariff the tariffs.
Well, like, so
I right?
no, I like how they say like, all right, international, then United States, Europe, United Kingdom, and Australia. So that just leaves, you know,
Why is it 500?
Asia.
Is Australian dollar like really different than the American dollar?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Because I was like, why is it 500?
Yeah, it's different.
Well, and so the Europe versus UK shows you the strength between the euro and what is the UK on now? What are they back
Pound.
to?
The British
The
pound.
pound. Yeah, they're back to the pound.
No, they were always on the pound. They never switched to the euro.
Oh, they didn't switch to the euro?
They never switched to the euro now.
Oh, so they really only put a toe in the pool when it came to the euro.
Yep.
To European Union.
Yeah, because the pound was, they didn't want to, like, because the pound was so much stronger than the euro. They're like, why should we switch to the euro when our currency is so much stronger? You know, of course, and Brits, we're proud of ourselves. You know.
Ted Nugent is only 5'4"? I had no idea.
Yeah. Because remember back in the day, it was like early 2000s when they were talking about doing kind of like the America thing. Like the euro in America, where Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. would be like own currency.
Yeah.
And people were like, but the U.S. dollar is so strong compared to the peso and the Canadian dollar. Why would we change our currency and devalue the dollar?
I mean, like in both American and Canadian are so much less volatile than the peso historically.
Right.
I think that the Mexican currency is more stable than it was. Like, I just remember when they went to the Nuevo peso, and it was like the peso was so unstable they literally had to drop a zero off.
Yeah.
Right. So they went to the Nuevo peso, and it was like, but it was still declining, but I think they're a lot more stable now than back then.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, it's kind of tough to combine currency like that. I mean, all right. We'll get the gold edition seat. Yeah. All right. FIA to include sim racing in the International Sporting Code.
Yeah.
Yeah, at first I thought that was kind of cool. And then I was reminded of my interview with Ollie Pakala.
Ooh, I think I know where you're going.
Where there was this whole movement to create a sim racing sanctioning body. This was like before COVID. This was before the explosion of sim racing to an extent.
Yep.
And there's a move by some people, Ollie Pakala, formerly Team Redline, like one of the greatest esport racers to ever be.
Yeah, Ali Pakala and Mitchie Hoyer trying to work on it.
Mitchie Hoyer.
Yep.
And the whole, one of the big pushes and reasoning for it was, if we don't do this, then someone else is going to.
Yep.
And so basically, FIA, and who's going to stop the FIA? They're now creating Sim Racing International Sporting Code, which I don't remember us sim racers giving them the power to do such a thing. So on one hand, it's an honor and it's cool. And on the other hand, I gotta tell ya,
Yeah.
meh. Nuge is 6 foot. That sounds more accurate. I mean, I've seen him playing a guitar. He looked crazy, but he didn't look tiny. Yeah, it just died. It just died. So
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a kind of meh because it only applies to FIA sanctioned sim racing things. Like, I don't think it applies to like the gaming Olympics or any of that stuff. So
yeah, but it's
yeah,
just
it's
step one.
eh.
Because then when you have something like the gaming Olympics and they have to adopt something, it's going to be the one they're like, oh, well, it's easier to adopt that than, it's right there, silver platter.
Because I mean, I look at it as like, is iRacing really going to listen to the FIA, the FIA, when it comes to iRacing events? Like, you have to use our FIA sanctioned, sporting code. iRacing is like, go kick a rock, dude. Like, iRacing isn't going to listen, not going to listen. What is FIA going to do in response? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Nothing. iRacing already has theirs. It's called the iRacing Sporting Code.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, same thing with LMU. What's the one that R Factor 2, VEC? Like, they all got their own sporting codes. Like, why are they going to listen to the FIA?
I think Tim just called me a 5 foot 485-pound woman, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
Wow. I've been called a lot of things, but that is a first.
Like, damn, she got some big legs.
All right, we have some other Sim Gaming Expo announcements that have happened this week.
Mm-hmm.
Built PCs are going to be there. They're going to be a lot. If I don't come home with a PC sponsor, then I'm not doing my job. All right, I'm not going to, you know what? I'm no more saving for a PC. I'm not saving for a PC anymore. I was like literally like looking around. I'm like, all right, you know what? I got to clear some space. Let's create a PC fund. And I've been giving this thought in my head. You know what? No. Built PCs, we're going to talk. All right.
Right.
Sim Racing Dads. Vroom vroom baby. What does Sim Racing Dads make? Do you know? What do they do?
They have sim racing leagues for, dads that barely have enough time to sim race. Yeah. So like, yeah, if you're a dad and you want to enjoy sim racing with, a bunch of other dads, yeah, they're a good group to join.
Awesome. And then I'm guessing this is vroom vroom.
Rom rom.
Rom rom. I said it wrong. Damn it. Dom it, Sean.
Where's your disclaimer? You need a disclaimer.
All right. And then that takes us to... Okay, all I have left is some rally news. Did you have anything you wanted to show off?
Oh, yeah. So I also sent you an image first. But we'll do this first. All right. So I finished making the trophies for our last league winners. Here we go. You guys can see them.
Oh!
So our winners for the pro was Joshua Hege. And then we got David Payne.
Put Joshua back up. There we go.
I got to redo his.
Yeah, no, I made you bigger screen.
Oh, and then we got David Payne's right here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Simpit trophy plaques. I love it.
Yeah.
Been a while since people were rewarded for their efforts.
I know. So, yeah, I got to redo Hege's because the lettering came out a little wrong, so I got to redo his. But David Payne's came out perfect, so yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. And then we have an announcement.
Yep.
The Simpit Le Mans Summer League is kicking off. Actually, kicked off, technically, right? Well, no, you're messing
No, it hasn't
around.
started yet. No.
Okay. No, you did a shakedown last week, right?
Yep. Yeah,
All
we'll do... Yeah, and this one is just for fun. So we're doing a Le Mans Ultimate, just a summer fun league. It's going to be a bunch of different. We're going to be using the base game for the tracks because I know a lot of people don't want to buy the DLC just yet because the game's earlier access. Blah blah blah, yada yada yada, whatever. So cool. We're only going to use the base tracks, but but anybody could use whatever car they want. You could use the DLC. If you bought the DLCs, you want to use a specific GT3 car, you can go ahead and use those. But yeah, we'll do another fun race this Sunday, and then next week we'll actually begin like the fun league. So if you want to join us, just the ! Discord, get into our Discord. We got an LMU channel. Let me know that you want to join up, and then I'll be posting all the hosted session details, the passwords, all in our Discord. So yeah, just come out, enjoy, and have some fun with us.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
And I see Telex with a question and a donation.
Wow,
Thank you, Telex. Thank you very
very
much.
nice.
What title would you recommend for a newbie to learn racing rule, etiquette, and car setups, etc.? Does not need super accurate sim per se. Focus on above. I mean, I think there are a lot of good sims to learn a lot of that. I think Assetto Corsa Competizione might be the best answer to your question. The reason I say it is it has a pretty decent AI racing structure, and it's going to give you the ins and outs of doing a proper race weekend. It's going to give you the ability to do a lot of setup changes, but not put you in a position where you need to do it perfectly out of the gates to be competitive. So I think that's my answer. Any other and again, I would encourage you, Talix, to get into our Discord. So if you type in !Discord, it'll give you a link. Or if you're watching this show later, there's a link in our description. That is the kind of question that if you put that in our Discord, you're going to have not just answers, but you're going to end up having people having conversations with you about it. Yeah, ACC or RaceRoom, and they're cheaper. Yeah, that's the main thing. iRacing is going to cost you a fortune. I highly recommend it if you want competition. Why am I seeing a little spinny wheel thing on my YouTuber? Everything looks good on OBS. That was just temporary.
Yeah, I'd say the same. I'd recommend ACC, even RaceRoom to a degree. I'd recommend them both, especially if you do, low fuel motorsport where you join, the hosted lobbies. Like you can read the rules of how to participate in the race. What's because I think like the biggest thing you have to do is like especially if you're trying to learn race etiquette, is read the sporting code. Like we talked, we're talking about FIA making their own sporting codes. Like read the sporting code, see what's allowed, see what's not allowed, or even then like join a league. Like there's a bunch of leagues out there for beginners, that will help teach and coach you on how to do, how to learn race etiquette and things too.
Yeah. All right. I hope we answered that well. Oh. Yeah, well, here's the thing I'll say, Talix. When it comes to racing with AI, I think I even mentioned this in a video at some point in time. Racing against AI is as much of anything on the honor system. Because almost every AI model out there, if you dive bomb them, if you tap them into corner entry, there are all sorts of things you can do to just move the AI out of your way. And they'll respond by just trying to be safe against the maniac who just is not acknowledging any typical racing rules. Yeah. And so you can go from 0 to hero in an AI race with no trouble at all, even if they're faster than you. So now when you get in line and treat it as though the cars around you are worth millions of dollars and their lives at stake, you'll find that a lot of the AI racing will really teach you some proper race etiquette. But you need to treat it like it's real life, not like it's an arcade game. And also in a lot of A, just like a real race, you might need to give it 1 or 2 laps to sort out. So at the start of the race, it might be a little crazy. Lap 2 might be a half as much crazy, but still a little. And then by lap 3, it starts to sort things out. And that's true of real life racing in most cases, too. So, and feel free to hit me up. If you want more, if you want to expand on this conversation, feel free to hit me up on Discord, by the way. Send me a private message or just pose it in the general chat, and everyone will jump on it, I'm sure. All right. Rally. Simpit Rally. We did Rally Poland. I finished mine yesterday. The event finished first thing this morning. I have not seen the overall. I was up high on the board, but there was still like 5 or 6 drivers to go. So I could have been knocked well outside of the top 10 at this point. All right. Rally Poland. Overall, Heiko Sherman, HS Whipperman coming in last minute again and beating everyone by 18 seconds, it looks like, over Jeff SMKU. When I logged off, Jeff was the leader. Excuse me. PS Deadman in 3rd, Caractacus in 4th, Alesh Mom 5th, David S in 6th, Dirge 7th, Max Power 8th, Sporko Mick 9th, Sean Cobb 10th. There, I plummeted, everyone. Ufi Boom Bola 11th, Sean Simpit 12th, Lacote Vintage Dude, Tom Rally Jones, SVT WRC, F4H. John made his run. Spatial Dragon and Bloody McGee. Joa with his worst rally yet, 19th place. So yeah, we got all the way up to 19. So I think when I finished the rally, only 11 people maybe, and I was in like 6th. So I was optimistic, but I was like, there are a lot of big names who haven't posted. So sure enough, no points for Sean.
Oh man, you did really good too.
I did. Well, no points in the individual, championship. In the team championship, though, I did score points. So, we've moved up a spot.
Yeah?
Yeah, we did. All right. In the Simpit Rally Team Championship after Poland, it's NFG Rally Club of Joe Antonio and Scoob. Oh, wow. My YouTube just completely dropped ass.
Oh, it looks good to me.
All right. I got it back. That was weird. My YouTube screen just completely stopped. In 2nd place, Davy Jones Locker. Davy Jones Racing of David S. and Tom Jones. Tied. Those two teams are tied with 249 points, by the way. All right. Alesh Mom and Sean Cole, Simpit Rally Team, 246 points. Now in 3rd place with Caractus and Wouter Van Morik dropping to 4th. WDDF Rally Team in 4th place. So it is tight, though. Look at that. Only an 8-point gap between all 4 teams. And I
was going to say that, man. It's a really tight race.
And it looks like it's a almost entirely VW rest of the season.
Yeah.
Andrus. Andrus, I'm sorry about that. Wednesday, I actually had a horrible migraine. And I literally forgot. And then I got up later because I was trying to sleep it off. And I noticed that not one person had mentioned it. And I basically lost my team behind me. So it might be. I know you are one of the winners. So I've been giving it a little bit of thought of what to do. Andrus, if you don't mind, hit me up on Discord and, I'm going to get you and, well, I guess I'm one of the winners. The 2 other winners. I'm going to do something for everybody who's won. And then I think we're going to go ahead and bring Hot Lap Pump Day to a close because without just making it open to the public, which wasn't even close to the intent of the whole competition, it just seems to have kind of just died off. And I've tried everything I can to get enthusiasm behind it. I think it might just be to that point. Andrus. Terribly sorry about that. It's something I did enjoy in its heyday. It doesn't mean we can't create something new in its place, but I think we just have to restructure and come back. And I don't know if Wednesday once a month is the best thing either. It's hard to remember for a lot of people. So anyway, that's me giving you the truthful answer, Andrus. So, okay, now, one more thought. So, do you know the word, I thought it was Reese, Recce, I think is the spelling, Reese. Do you know what that
Reese's
means?
peanut butter?
Yeah, that's what or maybe I even spelled it wrong because of that.
I thought it was Ricky.
Well, it is Recky. How did you know that?
Because I've heard it before.
How have I never heard of this word in my entire lifetime? I guess I'm just not a rally guy.
I don't know.
So, I don't know, for like 3-4 years now of rallying, and I have said Reese, right? People would say Reese,
Right.
and I didn't even know what they were talking about. I was just like, whatever. And so it's the term for reconnaissance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like pre-checking the stage. So everybody who is a front runner in our rally league, they practice. They go run the rally, at least, certain sections of the rally, and they familiarize it with it. Well, I've never known what they're talking about, and I don't do that because I just don't have the time, and it's been sort of a standing joke. Anyway, apparently for the last 2 streams, I've actually said the word correctly. So after 3 or 4 years, it's proven that you can teach an old dog a new trick. And recce is the actual word. Am I saying it right? Now,
Yep.
I thought recce was kind of a funny word because it's like recce, like a wrecker, Anyway, so yesterday everyone started joking around and nicknaming me Sean Recce Cole. And I thought that was kind of funny. So today, here, I'm trying to pull this up. I'm talking slowly and
Right.
stalling because I'm trying to. So I decided I might have this t-shirt made. I'm all into making my own t-shirts now. So, yeah, this is the latest one based on yesterday's
There you go.
stream.
But the Reki is spelt wrong.
Well, yeah, because that's my version. That's my nickname
Oh, okay.
version.
Oh, okay.
So, all right, let's see here where that at the expo. While handing out cookies. There you go. All right, last image, and I think this is a perfect way to bring the show to a close. This was posted in the Post Our Rig section. And here, let me get a name on the post because I want you to know exactly whose rig we're looking at. This is Wouter Van Moerik's rig. So when you're losing to Wouter Van Moerik, just know that this is his ride. Oh, yeah, it is. It is. Andrus, don't I owe you something from Rickmotech also? Andrus, can I send you a Simpit t-shirt with our new logo, which we're about to have ready to go or do? Would that be sufficient? Let me know. You know me. I'll make it all right. I promise you that. So anyway, yeah, Wouter Van Moerik. He's kicking your ass on a saddle, people. So anyway, all right, well that's all I've got today. How about you, Amir? Any thoughts? Any last thoughts from you?
No. Join us for our fun races for the weekend. I'll be working on my interview with Richard from SimLab. I'll have that out next week. But other than that, yeah, this weekend I'll be at Nürburgring watching the 24-hour race. So I'll be going up there tomorrow, and then trying to stay up there as long as I can. So, yeah, that's me.
It's an Amish sim rig.
Yeah, so if you're gonna be at the Nürburgring, hit me up and
ask him for cookies.
I won't have cookies. I don't have any cookies on me. Sean's the cookie guy, not
man.
me. I'll buy you a beer. There we go. I'll buy you a beer.
All right. There you go. All right, well, that's going to do it for this one, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us, talking about some sim racing and everything going on in the sim racing world. And I hope you had fun doing it. Get out there, do some sim racing, have a great weekend, and join us for that race on Sunday. I won't be able to be there, but join us for that race on Sunday, and have yourselves a great weekend. This is the Simpit. I'm Sean Cole. That's Amir Assad. That's Max. And we will see you on the track. Bye-bye, everybody.
Later.